Welcome to lesson 3.7. Today we're going to talk using matrices to solve systems of equations in three variables. No vocab for this section. So here are the steps to use matrices to solve systems of equations in three variables. There's a lot of steps, so make sure you pause the video and get this written down before continuing on. So the first thing you need to do is rewrite the equations if needed so that all the variables line up and go in the order ax plus by plus cz is equal to d. Okay, so we need them all to be in that same order, x first, then y, then c, then d. Then you go into your calculator, press the second and then the x to the negative 1 button. They're both towards the top left corner. That opens up our matrix menu. And then you go right to the edit column. You select that first one, A. You type in your dimensions of your matrix and you want it to be a 3 by 4. So always have it as a 3 by 4 matrix. You type in the equations without the variables, bringing with the positive or negative with each number, and the examples will show you what that looks like. So plus means you're going to use a positive number, minus means it's going to be a negative number. Now this next step is very important, even though it seems kind of redundant. You need to exit out of the matrix mode. So you need to press second mode to exit all the way out after you've typed in all of your variable or your values. Then you need to go back in the matrix menu by doing second x to the negative 1. And then go to the math tab and select down or go down to option B, RREF, which stands for reduced row echelon form. Then you press second and x to the negative 1 again to open the matrix menu. You select option 1A and then you hit enter, and then you will get your answer, which you'll see what it looks like on the next slide. So once you do that RREF, you will get a matrix that shows up on your screen, and it's going to look like this. The first three columns, it's going to look like the identity matrix, the one with the zeros. Okay, and then on the far right, you're going to have an R, an S, and a T value. Your R is the X value of your ordered triple, the S is the Y value, and the T is the Z value of your ordered triple. So it goes in order X, Y, and Z. Because you'll notice when we lined them up, our X's, our Y's, and our Z's were in this order. Well, 1X, 1Y, and 1Z. So that's how it should be, and that's how we're going to write our ordered triple. Now, just like when we were doing systems of equations in three variables, it was possible to get a no solution or an infinitely many solutions. So the way to figure out if it's no solution or infinitely many, you look at your different rows once you've solved it. And if one of the rows looks like this with 3 zeros and then a 1 at the end, that means that there is no solution. However, if one of them has all 4 of them are zeros, that means that our answer is infinitely many. And it doesn't have to be the bottom row or the middle row. It could be any of the 3 rows. As long as any of them have 3 zeros and a 1, it's no solution. Or if any of them have 4 zeros, then it's infinitely many solutions. So let's take a look at how this would work with some examples. Okay, so you'll notice we've got our 3 equations and 3 variables here. So what we need to do first is we need to write this same thing without any variables or equal signs. So that first equation, I've got a 3, I've got a minus 2, I've got a positive 4, and I've got a 35. For the second one, I've got a negative 4, a positive 1, a negative 5, and a negative 36. I've got a 5, a negative 3, a positive 3, and a 31. So notice how when they were positive, I kept the numbers positive. If it was a minus, I brought it with and made it a negative. So these numbers are what's going to go in our matrix. So if you'll notice here, I've got my 3 rows and I've got my 4 columns. And so this is what I'm going to type into my calculator. So now I'm going to grab my calculator, press second and then the x to the negative 1 button, go over to edit, select that first one, make sure it's a 3 by 4 matrix, and then I'm going to type in the numbers just how I see them now, just so we're clear here. And these are separate numbers. Okay? So get those typed into your calculator. Once you have that done, remember to exit out by pressing second mode. Then you can go back into the matrix menu, second x to the negative 1, Go to the right to the Math tab and scroll down to option B, RREF. Then go back into the matrix mode, second x to the -1, select option 1, and then hit enter again. And what you should see on your screen when you do that is this matrix right here. And again, for our answer, it's going to be these three numbers, -1, -5, and 7. There is our ordered triple. So again, we've got another example here. First thing we do is we write it without any variables or equal signs. So that first equation, I've got a 2, a 4, a -5, and an 18. Again, this minus comes with the 5. Second one, I've got a -3, a 5, a 2, and a -27. And the third one, -5, +3, -1, and -17. Here is our matrix. So go ahead and type that into your calculator right now. So you should have it in that same matrix. You should just replace the numbers from the last one. So now we can go and get RREF. So go into the matrix menu, go over to Math, scroll down to option B. Okay. Then after that, you go back into the matrix menu and select option 1 right away and hit enter. And the matrix that you should be given should look like this. And again, here is our ordered triple, 3, -2, -4. Go ahead and pause the video and try this one on your own, and then hit play and see how you did. Alright, so what's written in black should be what you typed into the matrix on your calculator. And then when you did the reduced row echelon, you should have gotten that your ordered triple is -6, 2, and 8. Now we're going to do a few examples so you know what no solution or infinitely many solutions looks like. So we're going to do it the same way we did before. So we'll write down each equation without the variables or the equal sign. So we've got a 5, a 4, a -5, and a -10, -4, -10, -8, -16, 6, 15, 12, and 24. Okay, so here's the matrix we're going to type in. So go ahead and pause the video and get that typed in. So make sure you've exited out before you move on. So now you can go in to the matrix menu, go over to Math, select option B, RREF, go back in to the matrix menu and select that first option. And what you should notice is the matrix looks a little something like this. And so we've got this on our screen. You'll take a look at this last row here. I've got 4 zeros on it. And that means that I have infinitely many solutions. Doesn't matter what anything else in my matrix says. As long as I've got that one row that's got 4 zeros in it, I have infinitely many solutions. Taking a look at another example here. Okay, again, writing this without any variables or equal signs. I should have a -4, a -2, -1 and 15, 12, 6, 3, and 45, 2, 5, 7, and -29. So go ahead and get this typed into your calculator, pause the video, and get that done right now. Make sure you exit out by doing second mode, and then you can go back into the matrix menu, go down to RREF, go back into the matrix menu, select that first option A, and now you should see this matrix show up on your screen. So once you see that, you should notice this row right here. I've got 3 zeros and a 1. When that happens, that means I have no solution. And again, just like the last one, it doesn't matter what's in any other row. All that matters is that that one row has 3 zeros and a 1 in it. and that tells me that there is no solution. Go ahead and pause the video and figure out whether this last one is no solution or infinitely many solutions, and then hit play and see how you did. Okay, so what's in black should be what you typed into your calculator. What's in green should be what you get when you do the RREF. And you'll notice that last row has 4 zeros on it, which tells us that there are infinitely many solutions.